One of the most important shows on British television is without doubt the Antiques Roadshow, and this year Fiona Bruce and her team have chosen our own Tatton Park as one of their key filming locations. Seen here in an exclusive interview for Tatton TV, our very own Val Dawson poses a number of engaging questions to Fiona.
Hi, I'm Val Dawson for Tatton TV, here on a glorious, glorious day at Tatton Park for the Antiques Roadshow. And with me, one very special person, of course, Fiona Bruce. Fiona, welcome.
That's a very nice introduction, thank you.
Lovely to see you here. You've come from the north. I mean, you weren't born around here, I know, but you were at school very early on in the northwest.
In the Wirral, as we called it then.
The
I think
Wirral.
we still call it the Wirral, don't we? Though I know it's
Yeah.
officially changed to Merseyside.
Yes.
Yes, in Heswell, at Gayton Primary.
And it is Heswell. I wasn't sure it was Heswell.
Oh, we called it Heswell. I think that's right.
And do you come back up to the northwest? Do you have still ties here or not?
I don't have family ties here, and it was, I left when I was 10. So I have been back to Heswell to have a little nosy round. And I inevitably ended up coming back to this part of the world with the roadshow because I travel so much now.
Yeah. But this is the first for Tatton Park, isn't it?
Yeah, never been here before.
Wonderful. And the weather is superb. Well, welcome anyway, and also to Cranford. Now, do you know...
Oh, right. Oh, I hadn't made that connection.
Ah,
Well, I was a devotee of the TV series, I have to say.
Oh, that is excellent, because, of course, that was Knutsford.
Oh, of course. See, you learn something every day. I loved Cranford.
Excellent. That's really, really good, because we thoroughly enjoyed it. None of it, sadly, was filmed around here. It was all down south, but there we are. But we all absolutely loved it. And, of course, this year's her bicentenary year, so we're having loads of celebrations in the town and in Manchester, of course, as well. So obviously then, you haven't had time to get to Knutsford, and I hope you perhaps will one day.
I
when you
hope
get
so.
a spare
I mean, what
minute.
I have done is I spent a lot of time filming here yesterday, going around Tatton Park in a fantastic old bone shaker car that used to belong to the fourth Baron Egerton, and he bought it in 1903 or something like that, or was it? Yes, and it had the M1 registration plate, which was the first personalised registration plate, because his name was Morris. Yeah. So I was filming in that, and then filming a little bit in the house and in the gardens, and learning about Humphrey Repton, who was the landscape gardener who created these gardens, and his aim was through deception to create the impression of naturalness. So the man-made lakes down there, over in the Italian garden, are to give the impression of a river flowing one into the other and of a river valley. In fact, it's nothing of the sort, it's just that he created it.
Very clever, though. Looking particularly beautiful today.
It looks gorgeous, gorgeous is it? How lucky are we? This is the first sunny day we've had on the roadshow.
We have a young lady called Danielle Hope, who's a student at Knutsford High School here, and so we're sort of rooting for her.
I heard about this on the local news,
We
yes.
rather hope that you might say good luck to Danielle.
Well, good luck, Danielle. Good luck, Danielle. I hope you do well.
But if your public life suddenly overnight went, what do you think, what would you do? What would your reaction be?
Well, I think if my public life went overnight, it would be a shock, certainly, because one is defined in part by one's work. I try to minimise that as much as possible, because, work doesn't love you back. I mean, there are lots and lots and lots of things I want to do when I'm not working. I've started one of them, which is to learn to horse ride, and I have now started doing that, finally got around to doing that. So I spend a lot more time doing that. There's all sorts of plans that I want to do when I'm not working that I don't have time to do now. So, in a way, clearly I wouldn't want that to happen until I'm ready, but when it does happen, there are a million and one things I want to be doing.
So what is your favourite things, four of your favourite things in life, apart from your family, obviously?
Well, some of my favourite things I've not been able to do. I'd love to have a dog. I can't have a dog because I'm not at home enough, so I would do that. I would very much like to be a magistrate. I'm really interested in that. Who knows what'll ever happen, but I'd love to do that. I'd love to have a little boat and sail around in that. I mean, it's just, I don't know where to. There are so many things I want to be doing that I haven't got the time to do.
But you get that balance right, presumably, do you? I'm sure you do, your family life and media life.
No, I don't know. I think I get it right some weeks and not right other weeks.
What about music? Are you interested in music at all?
I'm very interested in music. My husband is a huge kind of contemporary music fan, so he is always buying music. So I buy almost nothing, actually, because he buys so much. And I've tried to introduce more classical music into our household, to limited effect, I think it's fair to say. But yes, I do very much.
And if you could invite four historic characters to dinner,
Oh my gosh.
could you imagine who you'd want sitting around your dining table?
Oh, well, I'd want one of the Pankhurst sisters, definitely.
Oh, yes.
That would be a start. I think I'd probably have four fabulous women. So I'd have one of the Pankhursts. I'd probably have Florence Nightingale. I'd have Marie Curie, and I would also probably have... Portrait painting is mainly dominated by men, and painting in general, but there have been some amazing female painters through the centuries. Very little is known about them generally because they didn't get an awful lot of publicity. It wasn't something that women generally did, but there are some fantastic ones, and I'd have one of them.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you so much. And what of the future? Do you bother to look too far beyond Antiques Roadshow?
Work-wise, I'm booked up till mid next year.
Really?
And I've got other contracts that go beyond that. And then, I don't know, find time to have a nice life.
I thought perhaps Fiona on food or something, a new series.
Well, I love food. You know, I know I'm relatively slim, fortunately, but I eat like a horse. So anything, and I love food, so anything to do with food would be marvellous.
Excellent. Thank you so much for talking to me. It's been a delight to meet you.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
Although the mercury rose steadily throughout the day, the eager visitors waited patiently in the heat for their appraisals, all set against the backdrop of the beautiful 18th century mansion house and gardens. And for the first time in its history, the Antiques Roadshow has now allowed schools to take part.
I'm Alison Hooper, I'm head teacher of Edgerton Primary School in Knutsford, and our school was founded by Lord Edgerton of Tatton. And we're here today because we found a hat in the ceiling void of our school, and we are interested to know if it has any links with the Edgerton family. The hat is in very good condition. It's silk, we think, and it has the hat maker's name and also some initials inside. So we're interested to know if it has any connection with our school, which is why we're here today. And the children have also brought some of their own things to be valued, which is what's happening now.
Some of Britain's leading antiques and fine art specialists were on hand to offer free advice and valuations to the visitors, who were invited to raid their attics and bring along their family heirlooms, household treasures and car boot bargains for inspection by the experts.
I've just bumped into Celia Forsberg, who is at the Antiques Roadshow at Tatton Park today, and we thought we'd catch her and see what she's actually been already and been seen, and had her items that she bought valued.
These are just little things from my parents' home that were in their cupboard, and my parents have both died now, so I had them and I hadn't got a clue what they were. This actually is very old. It's my great-grandmother's medicine glass.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I can remember as a child having my medicine in that, and Mum used to sort of pour it into the spoon. So I'm really pleased about that. And it's 18 something. I think.
Is it calibrated at all?
No, it doesn't seem to be. No, I think it's pre that.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now this is fun. I always knew this as a cayenne pepper pot.
Yes.
And you can take the top off, and there's a spoon in there, but it's a bit stiff for my poor old fingers. But when we spoke to Hilary, she said, you know, this could have a naughty aspect to it. It could be snuff, but it could be cocaine. I don't think so. I don't think
better not broadcast this, Jonathan.
But no, we think it's actually was used for cayenne pepper.
Right.
That's why it's got such a little tiny...
Is the top silver?
Yes. And then these are my mother's opera glasses that she was given when she was 21. And they're in a little...
In a dear little leather
case.
Presumably leather case.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's even got her name and her address in it when she was a young girl. That's her original name.
How lovely.
You know,
and is that mother of pearl on there?
Yes. And they thought that was 1920s, I think.
So
Anyway,
were those the only 3 items you bought, or did you bring a lot more?
we bought 1 or 2 extra ones, but they were only little.
And were these filmed?
No, they weren't filmed. No, but we were approached by somebody from the History of the World.
Oh yes, they're
And
here. Yes,
they
I
have
saw they were
taken a
here.
photograph of this. And actually, I've got a Tunbridge Ware needle case, and they've taken that as well. And that'll be on the website for the History of the World.
That's lovely.
So
how have you enjoyed it then?
it's
It's the first
been
time you've
wonderful.
been to a roadshow, is it?
Absolutely, yes. I came with a friend, and we've had a really, really lovely day, and the weather has been magnificent.
It's been fantastic. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks so
you.
much, Celia.
Thank you.